Sorry for another heavy talk, but then it is important. I have reached a point in my life where things are crashing down, things are not going as I expect them to be. I have not been making videos recently because I have just given up. I've gotten a point in my life where I've told myself that Melvin, it's okay. You fought a very good fight for such a long time. Now is the time to give up. But then one thing that we should all bear in mind is that every single person on this earth is going through struggles. What is the most important thing in life? Think about this question. What do you think is the most important treasure, the most important thing to have in life? I ask people this question, and most of the time the answers I get is either money, family, love, treasures and all of that, and time. Yeah, people also mention time. But I consider the most important thing and the precious thing to have on this planet Earth is happiness. Why do you think we are getting all this money for? We get money because we want to meet our needs. We want to buy things that we desire. We want money because we want to feed ourselves with food, else we will go hungry. We want a family because we want people who will care for us in times of hard times. We want friends because we want people who we can share memories with. So if you kind of consider all the things that we consider precious, it all trickles down to happiness, because the main and ultimate goal of life is happiness. We are strapped on this planet Earth and we don't know what we are doing on this planet. So why is it that our life is short? We don't have enough time. So why is it that we're going to spend the little time that we have rambling and worrying about things that are happening in our lives? Instead, we are meant to kind of enjoy our lives, be happy, because that's the ultimate goal in life. Research has shown that those who normally try to seek happiness in life end up being miserable. We drink because sometimes we feel like if we drink, we'll kind of release ourselves of our struggles and try to be happy for a little while, be kind of euphoric happiness, ecstatic happiness. That is how people seek relief. I am kind of making this postulate that happiness takes about 30% of our lives and struggles takes about 70% of our lives. So happiness is just a little portion of our life, although happiness is the ultimate goal. And this leads me to Jonathan Field's quote that happiness is the reward of life, but then making meaning of life is the goal, is the movie. Now, this is how I see struggles. We all go through so many struggles, but then struggles are a way to prepare us for the next level of our lives. Imagine I give a 10-year-old child a vehicle right now, like a Tesla vehicle. The child is going to be happy. No, maybe the child might not even be happy, although the child knows that Tesla is really expensive, but then the child does not know how to drive. So even if you give the child a Tesla, the Tesla is useless to the child. Now, this is the same way that I see happiness. Happiness and struggles. Happiness can come to us, but then some happiness can come to us in certain times that we feel like we don't deserve it. We do not appreciate the time that we have. We do not appreciate the gift or the happiness that we receive. Why? Because we've not gone through struggles to make us appreciate those things that we are having in our lives. So imagine a world that every single thing was so easy. Imagine you wanted money to buy a phone. You just stick your hand in your pocket and you get like numerous amounts of money to buy that phone that you want. You want to buy a mansion, you just call the bank, I need money to buy a mansion, and they just give it to you. You don't struggle. You need food to eat, you just call the delivery guy to bring you food and all of that, and life is so easy and life is so simple. Do you think that life is going to be happy in this analogy, or life is still going to be sad? Think about it for a moment. Well, let me give you the answer. Life is going to be terrible for all of us. Why? Because we will be so fed up with happiness. Now imagine eating your favorite food, the food that you like the most. Eat your food for 60 consecutive days. You get fed up of the food. Why? Because although it is your favorite food, but you are tired of eating the same thing despite of the thing being your favorite. That will be the same thing. You'll be tired of getting happiness in your life all the time without you even trying new things or without you even struggling to get that happiness. So happiness is a way for us to prepare ourselves for the next stage in our lives. Now, if you're able to stay strong and succeed throughout the hard times, and in the end you get the reward, how do you feel? The happiest part and the most fulfilling part of our success is not the reward at the end, but rather is acknowledging the fact that we were able to stay strong and persevere through hard times. And that makes you feel proud of yourself. That makes you feel that yes, indeed, you deserve this reward. Why? Because you were able to stand in hard times, times that it would have been very difficult for people to stand through. So struggles sometimes brings legitimacy to the reward that we receive. And there is even a quote from the Bible, just for making reference's sake. It says that James chapter 1 verse 3, that consider it pure joy, my brothers and sisters, whenever you go through trials of many kinds, because you know that the testing of your faith leads to perseverance, and let perseverance finish its work, so that you may be mature and complete, not lacking anything. So let perseverance, just let gain experiences from life, so that you may be mature. So struggles bring us maturity in our lives, and that is how I see struggles. So whenever I go through struggles, I see it as a great opportunity. I rejoice because I know it is preparing me for the next stage in my life. So please, people who don't like me, or people who don't like other people, or you hate somebody and you see that person going through struggles, instead of you rejoicing over that person's struggle, you should actually be cautious and be thinking about your life, because you know you must be aware that that person will gain a new experience from that struggle, which is going to prepare them for the next level in their life. Now let me tell you one thing. Do you normally reflect on your life when you are happy? No. When you are happy, you don't care about your life. You just care about getting happiness and getting more and more of that. You really don't reflect about your life. But in times of struggles and in times that you are going through so many hard times, you sit down and you tell yourself, why am I going through this? What is happening? How can I get out of these struggles? And this is a moment where you get the time to reflect on your life and reflect on your life decisions and all of that. But if you are happy, the decisions you make are mostly involuntary. You just make sorry to say, but stupid mistakes, and that leads you into wrong places. But then if you're going through struggles, it helps you to humble yourself down to earth and then think about yourself and think about your life. And now let's work on this. So how exactly should we enjoy our struggles? How exactly should we overcome our struggles? Now these are ways that I have personally found, and I found this video on the internet and I just want to share it with you.
The absolute weight of the glass doesn't matter. It depends on how long I hold on to it. If I hold it for a minute, nothing happens. If I hold it for an hour, my arm will begin to ache. If I hold it all day long, my arm will feel numb and paralyzed. Well, the weight of the glass hasn't changed, but the longer I hold on to it, the heavier it becomes. The stresses and the worries of life are like this glass of water. If you think about them for a little while, there's no problem. Think about it for a little bit longer, it begins to hurt. You think about them all day long, and you'll feel paralyzed, incapable of doing anything. Always remember, put the glass down.
So as you saw from the video, sometimes you just need to let things go. The more you keep things in your heart, the more it becomes a burden to you. But then if you let things go and you forget about the past and you just let things slide, and you tell yourself that, hey, okay, it's okay. It may be that I'm the most unluckiest person on this earth, but it's okay. I'll move on. Life has not ended yet. Time is still ticking. So tell yourself that even if you fall, you shall rise. How can you rise? By forgetting about the past and focusing on the main goal. If you really cannot find your goal again because of the struggles, just remember why you started everything. Why did you start pursuing that goal? A way for me to deal with struggles is my spiritual life. Spirituality is something that most people avoid to talk about. Why? Because most people see spirituality to be something personal, but I don't see spirituality to be something personal. Most people think that life is only physical and there is no spiritual aspect of life, but let me tell you, spirituality of life is real and I can feel it. So whenever I go through struggles, I find a way to connect back to God because God gives me peace. The peace of God is in a different way. Now let me give you this analogy. Imagine you live in a world where there is no food. Everybody is dying out of famine. You, as a believer in God, you are not going to get peace from God because God is going to rain food from heaven to you. No, you are going to have peace from God because you know and you have faith in God that God can change your life situation for you. So having peace in God is not the assurance that God is going to bring you material things or God is going to fulfill your will, but rather it is having the faith in God that God can turn things around, that God can turn the situation around. So during the times of struggles, I tell myself that if God was able to take me through the struggle that I had some time ago, how is it impossible for God to take me out of these struggles and lead me? So having the assurance that God is with me gives me the peace to move on in life, gives me the peace to persevere through the hard times because I know there is someone who is all powerful, who is behind me, who is never going to let me down. Now let me tell you this thing. Imagine you have a son or you have a child, and then your child is really hungry. Your child really needs food to eat, and your child wants you to give them money to buy food. But then you have the money to give to your child, but then you choose not to give that money to your child and you choose to keep that money to yourself. Your child knows that you have money, that you can give it to them to go and buy food. But then your child is telling you that, Daddy, I know you have the money to give me to go and buy food. And I know you don't want to give me the money to go and buy food. And I know I'm really starving to death. But then I still have faith in you that you will give me money to go and buy food. I still have faith in you, Daddy, that you are not going to let me die. Imagine you were the father. How would you feel that even if you had the power to change the situation of your child, but then your child still have faith in you that even though you are not helping them, but you still can save them? How would you feel? You feel like this child has so much faith in you and you give the child whatever you have. So that is the same with God. If you know that God has the power to change your life and still you have faith in God, and God knows that you are going through struggles and He has not helped you yet, but still you have faith in Him, you'll be like, how is this possible? This is genuine love. This is genuine faith in me. And then God is going to lavish upon you showers of blessings and all of that. So that is the peace from God. So if you're able to sustain through the hard times with the peace from God, that God can still save you through your hard times, then in the end, after you are done with all the struggles, God is going to know that yes, indeed, you love Him, and so He's going to grace you with abundance of wisdom and abundance of knowledge and abundance of materials and everything, and God is going to fulfill your heart desires because He knows that you truly love Him, and that is so that is how I deal with my struggles. I tell myself that God is with me, and that gives me the peace to sustain, and in the end my faith in God rewards me. So I hope this video had a level of impact and you've learned something new from this video. And trust me, you're not the only one going through struggles. Everybody is going through it. Find a way to enjoy your struggles. Thank you.